Hello.
Woo, hello.
Hello. Welcome to Sarah's B2B Live Lounge on this autumnal, in the UK at least, afternoon. It's beautiful outside. All the leaves are kind of orange, and I love this time of year because I can buy loads of orange clothes because it's in the shop. And how wonderful to have two fabulous ladies on the B2B Live Lounge today. And I have to say, this edition of the Live Lounge has been trailing around for a long time, hasn't it? And I've cancelled and moved it, and but we're here. Hooray!
We're here. Finally.
Definitely here.
Brilliant. So I'm going to introduce our two fabulous guests, Valerie Merrill, who's an L&D specialist, and Julia Bend, who's an executive coach. Valerie, do you want to just give yourself a little intro? Because I think you guys do it so much better than me.
Oh, Sarah. Well, thank you. Well, I'm Valerie Merrill. I have a training business, which is Merrill Consultants Limited. We're a husband and wife team with about 50 associates, and I have been doing this since 1992. So a seasoned professionale, mostly IT, but there's also a segment of people skills or soft skills, and coaching is one of them.
Ooh, which leads to beautiful segue on.
I'm impressed. Hello, everyone. I'm Julia Bend. I'm an executive career transition coach and founder of Premier Coaching. I work with experienced professionals who are at the crossroads in their careers. So that's whether they're stepping into leadership, pivoting into something more than meaningful, or, figuring out what to do next. I help them realign their success with who they are and what truly matters to them.
I love that. Absolutely.
So do I. I love that.
You've nailed it, you ladies. Well done. And Valerie, we've known each other quite a while.
I'm not quite sure how long we have known each other. Did we meet at a networking thing maybe about 2 decades ago or something like that?
I think we probably did. And then, as with the beauty of LinkedIn, we continue to sort of bump into each other on LinkedIn now and again. And
Absolutely.
then you were doing an AI training, I think. Is that right? And I was interested, and we chatted. And
that's right. Yes. And the rest is history, as they say.
Indeed, it is. We should go on to that in a minute.
Good.
You're really good. We're definitely going to go on to that. Just remember that little phrase, folks.
I will.
In all good comedic and presentations, you have the threads, don't you, going through?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
We are going to talk about your podcast and what it is and how you promote it, which is what I'm really interested to find out about, how you successfully promote a podcast, because it's a podcast with both of you hosting. And okay, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to blow the waters open. So I was looking at podcasts today. I was looking at podcasts with 2 presenters, and the rest is history. Is one of them. That's our conversation we were having in the green room with Tom Holland and Dominic Sambrook, which is not what I know, but I do know the rest is politics.
Yes, I know that one.
Yeah, Rory Stewart and Alistair Campbell, which I do like. I do like it. I think it gives quite an interesting view on politics. And the rest is entertainment, which is Richard Osmond and Marina Hyde's podcast, which I do really like that one. So, why did you not call your podcast, the rest is,
I think I'm taking that one, Julia. Am I taking that one?
I do believe that Valerie's taking that one. Yes,
yeah,
I can chip in, but you can take this one.
Okay. Well, the whole process of meeting and starting our collaboration, I will leave with Julia. But we got on like a house on fire, and we talked about visibility. And the minute I met Julia, I thought, Julia could be an associate of ours. I think she's excellent. I knew that straight away. And I thought visibility, we both want some visibility. And also learning and development right now is so fast moving. It's running at a rate of knots. And so I think it's great because I know that when people meet me and talk to me, they come back to me. They might not buy from me straight away, but they do come back to me and either brainstorm or signpost or say, yes, please, can we book that in? So I just know that it's a way for me to promote the business and to get more work or referrals, or just have very interesting conversations.
Yes, I do like that. And I think, this is an interesting conversation. And I love that pulling people together and asking them questions and finding out more about them just helps you as a person, obviously, but it helps your audience, which is what we're here to do. And actually, I've just realized we haven't actually said the name of your podcast.
The Secrets.
It's not the rest.
No.
It's
The Secrets of Learning and Development. And I came up with it because I think there's a lot in learning and development which people might not understand. And I think secrets is a nice way to put it across. Let's learn from other people's sliding doors moments and their journeys, because, it is very rich.
Yeah.
I'll chip in as well. So part of it is, Valerie and I did meet. We don't know each other, and we'll get on to how we actually met before. But we actually had 2 conversations. And, when we met, you always say, oh, let's have a virtual coffee. And, and you start to build that networking relationship. And that's what we did. So the first conversation was, how can we help? How can we help each other? How can we support each other? And we talked about visibility. And then we said, oh, we like this conversation. We'll have another one. And we did. And both of us as we said, that Valerie comes from the training background. I come from a coaching background. And she says, I was thinking about it. Why don't we call ourselves, should we do a podcast? And I was like, well, because I'm a little bit like that. And but then I agreed, because I didn't have much time to think twice about it, if I'm honest. And then, then Valerie said, well, I was thinking about that. Why don't we call ourselves The Secret of Learning and Development? And I thought, okay, again, very quickly. But, afterwards I thought, yes, I'm happy with that, because of the fact that we are looking for the secret of people's learning and development. That's what we're looking for. And we all can learn and we all can develop, but there is more to it than that. Okay. And everybody's journey is slightly different, slightly unique, and they do things in slightly different ways. But, essentially it's something we all can learn from. So learning and development, it's the big umbrella, for coaching and training and all things, learning. The secret, all things learning. And the secret is, how have people done it? How have they pivoted? How have they learned, in their journey? And that's where that name came from.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that whole thing, because we've all, well, I certainly have, pivoted several times in my life. But how do you get that knowledge to position yourself as an expert in this new field that you've moved into? And I know, I've watched people often come to me and say, I'm pivoting. Can you help me with my LinkedIn and help me, rejig my profile and my messaging, etc., etc. And it's an interesting process. And I've actually been talking to somebody today about this, about how it's not when I'm helping people with their LinkedIn in that regard to try and help them do the pivot, it's not a tick box exercise. It's let's dig really deep into here, into your heart, for those of you who are listening to the podcast when it eventually comes out. And in your head, you have to dig quite deep into who you are, what is it you want, who do you want to help, and why? Because if you don't know your why, you're not actually going to be able to tell anybody what,
And if you're moving into an area which is maybe slightly a sidestep, or you've got the what in your background can you highlight to make that, to facilitate that move easier? Who do you know, maybe on LinkedIn? Who do you know in a competitor firm, perhaps, that's doing the job that you'd like to do? Or maybe you want to work for yourself and start a business, or do what we lovingly call now portfolio work, where you work for different people doing different things. There's so many ways now. and it can be a bit daunting. So the LinkedIn profile is a great place to start, because it is, your new showcase. It's your new screen to the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
People look at your website and then they go straight to LinkedIn as well.
Well, I think they go to LinkedIn first, because
they go to LinkedIn first. I think it's a LinkedIn first, and then your website, really. So, for me, again, we'll probably come in to talk about this. I go into LinkedIn for engagement, just to engage with that person. But then if I want to learn more, then obviously you've got the showcase there, and you do learn more. I don't believe that about everybody through LinkedIn. It's just bringing you to the table, bring the person to the table, really.
Sure.
Oh, I love that phrase, bringing people to the table, because it is, I always call LinkedIn the biggest networking party in the world, because I don't see it as social media. So it's a party, because I like a party, as Valerie probably knows.
I do remember.
Yeah.
There's history here, girls. There's history here that I'm not part of.
Wow. Yeah, definitely.
What happened I can't remember. Was it Business Junction? Whatever it was. Anyway, no, I was quite well behaved, I think. But I always say it's about being in the right room at the party and talking to the right people at the party. And you spend a lot of time on LinkedIn in the wrong table or in the wrong room, talking to the people that you don't really find very interesting or won't help you get anywhere, or hanging out with your mates in the kitchen, which is what we often do, which is very nice. But if you really want to get some business, you've got to actually get out and walk down the corridor and go into the other room. And, and so I love that idea that LinkedIn is bringing people to the table, and you're just introducing people to each other and having conversations.
Definitely.
Ideal.
So
how we met? Are you doing how we met, Julia, or am I doing?
Yes, I was going to say, so before we go on to how you're promoting it and using LinkedIn, which we definitely want to cover, how did you meet? And this whole idea of collaboration, which is being talked about more and more in the world at large, and certainly in the business world, an executive coach and an IT training company owner, how did you see that collaboration would work? Valerie, rather, you spotted it. What was it that you thought this could work?
Well, I get asked for all sorts of things, because I've been in training a long time, or L&D as we lovingly now call it. I get asked for a lot of different things, from AI to GDPR training to CEO coaching. And when I met Julia, I knew that she was a really great executive career transition coach. I knew that the minute I started talking to her. I knew she knew her stuff. I also remember saying to Julia, I don't meet very many ILM 7 trainers, coaches. I don't meet many. And you, of course, were going like, God, there were loads. I know loads. Well, I don't know loads. But I know Julia. So Julia's my girl, we sat next to each other at a women's conference, and it was about collaboration, funnily enough. There were lots of different speakers. You might have been there, actually, Fab Collab, 2 years, just under 2 years ago.
At Homegrown?
Yes, at Homegrown.
I was there, yes.
There's a surprise.
You're not the first person to know that you were there, and I didn't know. I didn't know either, so I wouldn't worry about it. But
well, there you go,
in the room.
Yeah, we sat next to each other on the table, and we just got on like a house on fire. So that was it. That was it, really, Julia.
For me, we met there, but I went to this networking event, and I would never consider myself to be a networker at all. But I went because it was a good event, and it was about collaboration. And I always tell people that I just did as I was told. For the first 2 months of meeting Valerie, I just did as I was told. And so I got into the room, and I turned around, I got a coffee as you do, and she said, "Sit here." And I did. And here I have been ever since. I've been sat here, you see, and that was it. I've come from the corporate environment as well, so this was a very different type of activity for me, really, because when you're in the corporate space, you don't do networking as you do it when you're out learning your own business. So you're having your own business. So it was the first event for me. And yeah, we were at the same table together, and we just got on, like you do with like we do. We sat, we got there, we got on and everything, and then we just took it from there. The idea of coming together to do the podcast again, I didn't overthink it at all. I do believe in things coming together organically. Okay. And sometimes when things just happen organically, then, fine. I haven't had to work too hard to it. You work hard when you're there. We're working hard now. We're here. But, at the time, coming together, I didn't think, oh, I'd like to collaborate with someone. Oh, I'd like to run a podcast, Oh, I'd like to find somebody that has the same value. That didn't come in. That didn't feature for me. But it's worked for us.
I love that. So there's two things actually I want to focus on there. One of them is the fact that neither of you walked into the room thinking, I'm looking for a collaboration to set up a podcast.
Yeah.
You met each other, you liked each other, and then the magic happened after. So what happened first was the relationship.
Yeah.
And that's key, isn't it? That's what's really important here. And that's why you're still doing this, 18 months, is it? 18
yeah,
months?
Nearly. No, just over. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got 60 episodes up, and we have it's 14 months we've been live.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing. I know. Where did that go? I went to support Tracy Barr. I went to support because were you ever a sister Snog?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, I probably met you then.
Right. Yes, I was Sister Snog. Yeah, for those that don't know, Sister Snog, which is the best name of any organisation and group ever, is an amazing group set up by the incredible Hella Wozniak-Kay. And it's a group of women who collaborate and basically party very, very hard together.
Yeah, we used to party very hard.
Very good time, but also do business together and collaborations together. So that's, yes, how funny our paths have crossed and we didn't even realise, you see, but then finally we come together. And the other thing I want to pick up on that little conversation was how, Julia, I have a feeling that you don't often do as you're told. Am I right?
I don't know where you got that from.
Compliment.
Oh, is it? No, I don't know. I pause for thought. I think that's what it is. I don't say yes straight away, right?
But you did when Valerie asked, which shows what a great...
No. I went, yes. The pause wasn't to say no. It just said, well, yes, But no, I mean, I do. I can't say I don't do as I'm told straight away. No, I don't. I do try to think things through. And, when I say I did as I was told, it's as far as sit here, I did. Right. And then, everything else, I do have an opinion on sometimes. Absolutely. But I do think things through a little bit.
I'm just saying that Valerie's obviously got she obviously saw something in you that she wanted to select her. But also, as somebody who runs an L&D organisation, she knows how to get people to do what she wants them to do. So
you know what it is? It's this forthright. It's a forthright conversation. I mean, with you're absolutely right. On the surface, we are poles apart. Right there, you wouldn't see it together. We are poles apart, and I would be the first to actually admit that as well. And if you sit down and you really think about it, it'd be like, oh no, this just, it doesn't work. So that forthright personality that she has, right, is something that she's learned over the years, right, to build the business up as she's done. And there's no fear. So she's going to come at you and she's going to ask you it as is, and you haven't got that time to turn around and sort of really think about it, because on the surface it feels right, or on the surface it is right. Do you see what I mean? If it wasn't, then I would have known, and I would have frowned, and the message would have got across, because I have a lot of facial leakage, so that would have got across quite quickly. But it didn't. That's she saw something in me, and and I'm grateful for that. to be fair. I'm grateful for that.
We've helped each other, and that's we've split the work up. We all sorts of things that we do together, because we actually did not realize how much is involved in podcasting if you want to do it well, and we're both quite driven in that direction to do things well. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it well. And so we just divided the tasks up, and we've got frameworks, because Julia's IT like me. And, if we don't have a good framework.
Not IT, I'm process driven. That's process driven. You have to have a framework. I'm corporate. I'm trying my best to ditch that hat, but that's what it is. One has to have, you need to know what direction you're going in, I think, as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the minute I left that event, actually, I found her on LinkedIn and sent a connection message. And I then went shopping I didn't stay for the drinks. I was out shopping. She was looking for me, but I'd gone already into the shop.
You were on Oxford Street.
I need to look and say goodbye, and she'd gone.
I'd just gone. So funny. Collaboration is incredibly important.
It was great, because I actually had to shoot off, because I then had another event just near Oxford Circus, actually, which was a B2B event that I went to. So I had to shoot off. But it was a shame, because it was such a great event, and there were obviously collaborations to be had, and here we are. Here's one.
Absolutely.
So let's go back to the podcast. So on a practical level with running the podcast, you split the tasks.
We do.
Which, you see, the thing is, I don't know how many of these recordings, and I've meant right from the beginning to turn them into a podcast. I've never done it, because it's just a lot of work. So actually having the two of you, that's very clever. Well done. And so in terms of promoting it, let's hear your juicy secrets. How do you promote the podcast?
Juicy secrets.
The juicy secret on how to promote the podcast, right? And I'm just going to show you. Okay.
Do you know what? Okay.
We walk around with a bag, and we have this, right?
I love it. It's a mug. Everybody, if you're listening to the podcast,
some of us also carry a bag through central London sometimes, we're promoting the podcast.
That's brilliant. And I'll tell you this. So I was scrolling through your content feeds, both of you, looking for posts about the podcast to say, do they really, they say they didn't, put it out on LinkedIn. It really stands out on your feed.
Oh, thank you.
So it's not bright. It's not, bright orange and purple. It's not bright colours. It's a very nice, gentle, soft kind of sky blue background with photos of you two. What's brilliant is it's so consistent. It's easily recognisable. It doesn't have to be bright, but it's always the same. And because you're congruent, you're the same everywhere, it becomes recognisable. So, and there you are, you see, your mug had exactly the same photo, and I presume the bag is the same as well.
Oh, yes.
Well, no, the cushion is. I've got a cushion.
She turned hers into,
what else have you got?
She turned hers into her bag. She didn't use it as a bag. She's turned it into a cushion. I'm the one that boldly goes and brave goes out with my bag, because people stop me all the time. And I go, oh, yes, that's right. Yes.
You see, collaboration, right? It's like you take the good and the bad, right? This is the collaboration that we have. I'm a bit of a diva, so I can't walk around with the bag with my face on it, but Valerie can. So I think to myself, okay, fine. I promote it from here where I've got my cushion, okay? And Valerie's quite happy to walk around with the bag, and I'm happy for her to do that. Right?
Well, you see, it's safety in numbers, and this is what I say about employee advocacy. It's the same. You get your team posting about stuff, and you just spread the messaging further, don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
But also another thing is that I've got to give credit to Valerie for this. Is that she talks about the podcast in all of her conversations, and for me, I don't, and I didn't, and I've started to do it, and I've started to recognise how I do it now, whereas before I didn't. you know. So I would very much compartmentalize, you know. If we're talking about podcasts, okay, I've got a podcast, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that if I'm on the train and I'm talking to somebody about my coaching that I'm going to mention my podcast. But Valerie is good at doing that. She's good at talking about what she does and the different things that she does as well, whereas I didn't. Recently I've recognized myself, apparently because other people have said it, that I've recognized myself saying it now. And when you do say it, they're like, oh, you know, and then they come through LinkedIn, then they see it all in LinkedIn, right? So we then know that it's the LinkedIn is the go-to. But you're right, we put it out every week. We also put out testimonials when we get them as well for our guests that have actually been on the podcast. And, you know, and as a result of that, they then put it on their network feed as well, you know. And, you know, and it seems to have been, that's how it grows, really, I suppose.
Well, also we always have at least 2 guests a month. Sometimes it's more. And we've also got bonus episodes where we showcase what we do. So a segment about something to do with coaching or something to do with learning and development. A lot of the things around values and showing up and things that will help you. Julia's section, and then I've got the bit about things like cybersecurity and AI and using Copilot, all the sorts of things that you would associate with IT or with the world we work in right now. So they're tools. So I'm just looking at tools or looking at way learning and development, as I said, is changing fast. And it always used to be about content. And we're not doing that now. It's all experiential learning. So it's all change. And so that's what I try and do on my little, 10-minute or 13-minute, we're calling them, or sometimes they're 5 minutes. Depends. We just sit down and just, start. Although we're very good with our frameworks and our scoping, so we know what we're going to do.
I love all of this. So in terms of promoting, oh my gosh, there's so many things you said, you have no idea. Collaborating with others. So when you invite people on to your podcast, and in fact, you did the same today, and had I got myself a bit more organized, we would have been doing this last week, but I was very late to the show today. So I sent you the link only this morning, to join me today, and then set the meeting up and everything. And both of you were brilliant because you both reposted my post and commented on it. So you didn't just hit repost, you actually hit repost and added a comment, so it becomes a proper post in your feed. So you both did that. So when you invite people onto your podcast, then you presumably encourage them to do the same. So then they're promoting your podcast to their audience.
Yes, because they're the main topic. If they're a guest speaker, we will have scoped it and talked to them and know what we want to draw out, the secrets, plus all the new things that they're doing, because there's some great people out there, Sarah, doing some great work, and we just don't know enough about it.
Yeah, it's the thing. Again, I'm talking process. You see, the thing is, we can there's 2 things. Some people Valerie knows, I don't. And there's some people that I've come into contact with and Valerie doesn't. So to me, it's important that we have a scoping session, because I always feel that people are richer than LinkedIn. And that's not any disrespect to LinkedIn, but they are. And it's very difficult to, like you said earlier, hone everybody's experience and skill set into the windows of LinkedIn. It's just not possible. Otherwise, you're going to confuse the person that's reading it. They're not going to know what you really stand for. So you pull out what is in your heart. What's the one big thing that you're good at? And let's just blow that out. But that's what is encouraging and engaging me to look at your posts. So you do that. But then aside from that, I'll say, okay, Sarah, can we Sarah's got a really good LinkedIn profile. We know that, right? So then we then invite you to a scoping session. It's at that scoping session you get to know Valerie, you get to know myself, we get to know each other, we get to talk about your journey. But it's when we talk about your journey, it's when the key secrets do come out. And that is what formulates some of the questions that start the conversation when we start the recording.
That. So So you do a pre-session.
We do a
before you-
pre-session. They would do the and it's that I think actually it's that pre-session where, if you want to call it magic, it's where the magic happens, because by the time we come on the podcast, we're all familiar with each other.
Yes.
Okay. And we're all relaxed. And, you know, we sort of say to you, it is a conversation. We're not here to just to answer questions, you know, chill out. It is a conversation. And I feel that people get more out of hearing a conversation rather than transactional. I ask you a question, you ask me a question, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. We're I mean, you know, I'm a consultative trainer as a L&D person. And so I've brought that into easily with Julia as a consultative podcast. So we want to showcase people. I want to give back. It's not just about me and her, but, you know, it is obviously about me and her, because we wouldn't have anything without us. So it happened. We enjoy it. It's we meet some wonderful people. I'm reading books voraciously because everybody's written one. Not us as yet, but watch this space. But yeah, but I love it. It's great. It's great. And
it's not just about us. We did come into the podcasting for visibility. I'm not going to lie, because I feel as though I've got a face for radio, and it's the best place, you know, for people to hear who I am. We came in with that, right? You editing this, by the way. Anyway, we came into it. We came into podcasting with that in mind, but very quickly it was, we can showcase our guests. You know, we can let them, you know, talk about the parts that they can't put on LinkedIn, but it still is engaging. They write the name, then they link with people, and it is about our listeners, because we want them to take something away as well. So it is a collaboration across all elements, really. And that's what's important for me.
Yeah,
I think
so they benefit from
everybody has benefit
in your network, and you benefit from being in their network. And that is true collaboration.
And we've got a following, and we've got a brand, a recognizable brand, as you've already said. And also we help the people that we have, you know, we've got a little community of guests and people that have either got work through it, or, you know, so we're doing another sharing thing, really.
Do you know what is lovely as well is that we, you know, one of our early guests that we had on, you know, he doesn't talk about networking in the normal sense. He talks about it as building professional relationships. And I think that, and I thought that was really lovely, because it helped me to reframe it slightly better. But with that as well, you know, what we also do is that ever so often we have like a lunch or a dinner with some of our guests that we've had on the show. But recently I've noticed that they've started collaborating with each other, so they connect on LinkedIn. And, you know, I had a note recently saying, Julia, I just met with so-and-so that they met at our lunch, right? It's the gift that keeps giving. So when you see that as well, it's not, you know, it's not about me just sort of introducing other people. We've all come together. You've all been on the show. We've had a laugh. We've spoken. But what is really nice is that without my input, that's as far as my input goes, they have collaborated through LinkedIn as well, which I think is really good.
Oh my gosh, this just like I've just realized we're out of time, but I hope you're all right to carry on, because this is just brilliant. So not only, oh my gosh, my mind's blown. So not only do you do a pre-meeting to really dig in and find out and develop the relationship between the three of you, or four of you if you've got two guests. I don't know if
we do actually have four sometimes. Yeah, we do.
I knew actually, because I did see one earlier episode come up in your feed, because you're promoting it really well. You also create a community around your guests to enable them to collaborate with each other. Yeah, that's just brilliant.
And that is entirely up to them. But what is really lovely is that they just did it. You know, it's me again. It's that organic thing. You know, it's that organic. Well, we hosted it fine. That's great, and it's more of a thank you and let's come together. But yeah, I like the idea that, you know, they've continued their relationship, and
because you've created this environment where that's what people want to do.
Yeah,
you've created this brilliant community environment where people want to stay in touch with each other.
Yeah,
Wow.
and support each
And
other. Brilliant.
we do have, I mean, there is a vibe, you know, we do have, I mean, I laugh a lot, as you've noticed. And I laugh, I'm great, you know, when I'm training, I'm very humorous, because when people are more relaxed, they learn quicker and they'll ask questions that they wouldn't have asked before, because they might have thought, well, that's a silly question, I won't ask that. And that's great, because then everything just moves along swimmingly. It's the same with the podcasting, you know, the atmosphere is one of you know, support and helping each other, and just saying, you're doing a great job, let's have more of it.
I love that, because I've been a guest on a lot of podcasts.
Mm.
Some I've had the pre-meeting first and we've had chats and what have you, and some have just dived in and let's see what happens. I don't mind either way. I'm easy either way. But what tends to happen is after it's finished, it's done, and you forget and you move on and you go and do something else and you completely forget about it. But what you're doing is very, very different from that. And also by doing that from a sort of promoting your podcast point of view, is because you're staying engaged with all your previous guests, they're going to help you promote your future episodes, aren't they? Because they'll comment on your posts and, you know, etc., etc.
Yeah, we're in there. We're also in their group. So, you know, when we know one in particular who's starting up a new business, and so I've been promoting everything she's reposting and commenting on everything she's doing, because she's in my group, you know, she's in my back, and also I want her to succeed because it's wonderful, you know.
Yeah.
So that's that kind of, you know,
it is good, but also, I mean, and in the past, I haven't done it recently because I haven't had the headspace, but some of my posts that I've created is around some of the topics that I've learned from when I've got the guests.
Yep.
When I've had the guests on the show, and, you know, and particular things that stood out to me in the conversations that we've had. And I'm thinking, oh, that is also something from a coaching perspective that you then can engage your community to learn from that as well. So it works both ways, and you know, you can't think of everything, and no man is an island, as they say. So you know, people do, like, as long as you do reference them, because obviously I wouldn't have learned it had I not spoken. So it is spoken to them anyway. So, you know, it is something that it's like you know, like I said, someone said, the gift that keeps giving, you know, but it's for everyone. It's not just for one single person. And LinkedIn is brilliant for that. LinkedIn is the platform there that's enabled that to happen.
Oh my gosh, this has just been the most amazing conversation. I'm loving it. So you're repurposing the content basically that you get.
Absolutely.
In many different ways in your posts. And the other thing you mentioned, which I love as well, is getting testimonials from your guests about how much they've enjoyed being on the podcast. So it's another way to talk about it. What I see a lot of, and I don't see this with you guys at all, is people saying, I'm doing a podcast on this. I'm doing a podcast on this. I'm doing a podcast on this, which is great. But what you're doing is saying that message, but in so many different ways that you're engaging many, many, many more people.
Yeah. I mean, most topics you can dice in more than one way to get the message out there for it to land. Everybody hears things differently. Nobody's going to hear everything in the same way. So there has to be different ways that you can slice and dice it, especially if they're really good messages. And let's be honest, we've had 60 people on our podcast. We've got more in the wings. All of them have got a good message. None of them have a rubbish message, really. All of them have something valid, something that they've worked towards, right? Even if they don't know it. But you won't know how it lands, because I hear things differently to Valerie. I will hear things differently to yourself. You sat there and said, oh my God, you know, this is so good. I have no idea what you've heard, because you see what I'm
see, I go, come on.
But you've heard it differently, because it's something that we're used to, is ingrained in us to do. I don't hear it in the same way that you are sitting there, bless her. That's brilliant. And I'm glad it's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad it's landing. But the thing is that, you know, that just proves to me that people hear things slightly differently. So whenever we are, you know, we're talking to somebody, a guest on the show, I do listen. And then afterwards, you know, I do a little bit of reflection and think about what are the messages, what are the key learnings, because we actually do put key learnings on our show notes as well.
We do.
So, we have to pull out the key learnings from that. But I mean, it's coming from me, from Valerie as well, whoever does, it's coming from us. But, at the end of the day, if there's 2 key learnings that we've picked up on, then it hopefully will encourage other people to listen, because then they must think, oh, this must be worse than something else that I might be missing, which they probably are.
Brilliant. I love that. Right. We are 10 minutes over. I've got one last question, which I want to ask you, which I ask all of my guests. And I don't know if you saw when I said it to you, but what I love to end with is 3 top tips. 3 top actionable tips that someone who's got a podcast and they want to promote it better, or someone who's thinking about setting up a podcast, how would they promote it? What would you say are the 3 top tips?
I suppose that one of them, I would say, if I was to take it, is, Valerie might well laugh at this actually, is don't go for perfection. She might. And the reason being is that I do my best to, but really and truly things will evolve over time. Okay. So our podcast isn't the same as it was when we first started. Okay. And we lent into it because we know we want to improve. So therefore improving is learning about it and, asking relevant questions for people that will give you honest, answers, if you like. So don't go for perfection is what I'm saying. You just get to a level that you're willing to start, and then just go for it and be yourself.
Okay. Being authentic. Yes, absolutely.
That's yourself. Just be yourself.
Valerie, an actionable tip. So that's a great one. Thank you, Julia. Valerie, go on.
I think there's a couple, but one is to be consistent, because a lot of people do start podcasting and then after, I don't know, so many 10 episodes, they don't do anymore. So we're in the small percentage of people that carry on. I think the planning, thinking about what you want to do. So our tech guy, who is wonderful, by the way, and we couldn't do anything without you, Carl. We have to say that he said to us right at the beginning, we need more cans of beans on our shelf. We can't go live without. Don't go live with one episode. We need more cans of beans. And we went, but he's right. So we did.
So how many did you record before you went live?
Half a dozen.
Did you? Yeah. No, I've heard that. Yeah. I've got about 40, I think. That's about time, isn't it, really? I did it.
I mean, honestly, you'd be able to rock back, you'd get them out there, because you'd be able to just,
Do you want to turn it into an audio book?
Oh, let's have this conversation in the green room after. We're still live.
Thank you.
We're going to end now, but I want you both to stay. I want to carry on this discussion. Valerie Merrill and Julia Bend, you have both been just brilliant guests on the B2B Live Lounge. I haven't had the B2B Live Lounge for quite a while due to personal circumstances, but I did it today and I'm so happy I did. And I'm going to definitely be more consistent and carry on with it, because you have inspired me to continue with it. And you've given away so much amazing information for our listeners and viewers. So thank you very much for being on the B2B Live Lounge.
Thank you.
Where's the best place to find you guys?
LinkedIn, of course.
Well put. Yes.
I'm on LinkedIn. I've got a website, premiercoaching.co.uk. On Instagram as well, Julia's Premier Coaching, and I do have a Substack as well, Julia's Premier Coaching. So yeah, I'm all over the place actually.
Brilliant.
Well,
I'm on Facebook, but not as Premier Coaching yet.
Well, let's just stick to
LinkedIn, shall we?
And Valerie, your LinkedIn.
LinkedIn and merrillconsultants.com. Absolutely. Thank you.
Brilliant. I'm going to play us out with some music and we're allowed to dance.
Woohoo!